The National Security Agency has issued an urgent call for all iPhone and Android users to reboot their devices, highlighting that this simple step can protect against certain forms of malware. But can a quick reboot truly shield your device from sophisticated spyware threats? Or is it merely a security band-aid? Google is set to revolutionize business operations with its new enterprise web store, allowing companies to create curated selections of Chrome extensions to boost productivity and security. Hard-coded cloud service credentials buried within the code of widely used mobile apps are jeopardizing millions by potentially exposing sensitive data to attackers. And finally, attackers are actively exploiting a high-severity Microsoft SharePoint vulnerability, prompting CISA to urge immediate action as this threat risks remote code execution. The National Security Agency has advised iPhone and Android users to regularly reboot their devices in order to counteract zero-click malware threats. This recommendation is part of a broader security guideline released by the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, to enhance protection against cybersecurity threats. Rebooting can help remove non-persistent malware like Pegasus and is part of a series of suggested practices such as using strong passwords, enabling two-factor authentication, avoiding rooting devices, and keeping software up to date. Meanwhile, President Biden's Executive Order 14117 aims to protect U.S. data from foreign threats by setting strict cybersecurity requirements for handling sensitive transactions. CISA proposes measures like implementing strict data access controls, encryption, and maintaining comprehensive cybersecurity frameworks to safeguard private and government data. These efforts align with the Department of Justice regulations, emphasizing the importance of privacy and security in managing restricted data. And all of that is just to say that the US government is starting to step in more and more, providing recommendations for security and starting to enforce them as well. My favorite takeaway from this is that the government is recommending you reboot your phone on a regular cadence. Malware, especially in unrooted devices, has a hard time persisting through a reboot. It takes a pretty crafty malware engineer to persist through a reboot, so why not just fully restart your phone once a week to take care of some of those low-hanging fruit? Because why not? It can't hurt. So while I reboot my phone and my computer, I'm going to skip the transition music for today and roll right into the next story. Google is set to enable businesses to create customized enterprise web stores for Chrome and Chrome OS extensions, focusing on boosting productivity, security, and management. This development aims to provide organizations with curated environments for commonly used browser extensions, enhancing standardization and minimizing security risks. The enterprise web store on Google Chrome will offer benefits like tailored extension recommendations and real-time insight into extension usage through integrated telemetry, which will be great for the IT departments managing and monitoring these endpoints and web browsers, because there could be a lot of malicious browser extensions. If you're not limiting your users, they'll download them, and that's an entry point into your environment. Additionally, Google announced new Chrome enterprise features, including AI-powered tools, security enhancements like private preview and evidence locker, and natural language search in the Google admin console. So just like every top tech company, they're integrating artificial intelligence into their products, allowing you to talk to the data in a more human interactable sort of way. And to circle back to that first story about iOS and Android, a recent report by Symantec has uncovered that many popular apps across iOS and Android contain hard-coded, unencrypted credentials for cloud services like Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure. This issue, stems from rushed or poor development practices, but it affects several apps on Google Play, including PickStitch, Merucabs, and on the Apple App Store like Crumble and Eureka, which the only one I've heard of is Crumble, and I'm guessing that's the cookie brand. Although the presence of these apps doesn't guarantee personal data theft, it just highlights the potential vulnerability. And as a developer, specifically around security, it highlights the poor quality of PR reviews that's going on out there. So, don't be afraid to call people out if you see something happening in a code review. Keep your eye out for hard-coded credentials, and especially around authentication, make sure that the method for authenticating is very secure, not just absent of credentials. And finally, the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, who has the most annoying name to say, has identified a high-severity vulnerability in Microsoft SharePoint. And they're claiming that it's actively exploited with the risk of remote code execution by authenticated users with site owner permissions. Now, Microsoft has released patches in July, but public proof-of-concept exploits heighten the threat. Federal agencies are mandated to apply fixes for this vulnerability by November 12th, which is right around the corner.
This has been the Daily Decrypt. If you found your key to unlocking the digital domain, show your support with a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It truly helps us stand at the frontier of cyber news. Don't forget to connect on Instagram or catch our episodes on YouTube. Until next time, keep your data safe and your curiosity alive.